Tigray President General Varede is hesitant to name Eritrea. What happened? Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. Good to be with you. Two main topics. Firstly, General Varede, the new president, met with a foreign dignitary yesterday. He talked about the situation in Tigray and he avoided naming Eritrea. What happened? Secondly, TPLF deputy chairman, who is deputy president of Tigray, to Ammanuel Assefa, has countered a report by some Ethiopian news outlets. The report was attributed to Ammanuel Assefa. What did Ammanuel Assefa say? Let's start, viewers. TPLF, PFDJ, EDF, TDF alliance is not a secret now. They have alliance, or you can call it coordination, but it's more than a coordination. They're on their way to form a strategic alliance. Can they do it? Do they have this type of trust between them? All that remains to be seen, but signs are there. And if you monitor, if you have been monitoring the last few months statements of Eritrean government, DPLF, you must have noticed that both have been avoiding criticizing each other. They did not criticize each other in recent months. That is part of the deal that they reached a few months ago. Otherwise, after every few days, Eritrean Information Minister Emanuel would accuse TPL of being a spoiler for peace in the Horn of Africa. He would accuse TPL of igniting war, etc. And all day, Tigray activist TPLF people, they would accuse Eritrea of committing genocide of Tigrayans. Axum massacre was mentioned. No one is mentioning Axum, etc. Why? Because TPLF and PFDJ, EDF and TDF, they are in contact. And one piece of evidence was seen yesterday when Varede met with German ambassador who visited German ambassador to Ethiopia, who visited Tigray. In Mekelle, he met with General Assefa, the new president. And where they claimed in his meeting with the ambassador that 40% of Tigray territory is under occupation. Who is the occupier? He said invaders. Which invaders? Eritrean forces or Amhara forces. Did not say a word about Eritrea. Though in the last 2 years, Tigray side has been accusing Eritrean and Amhara forces that both are in occupation of Tigray territories. But now, one word use, invaders. Or Fano fighters are accused to, in some recent statements, Tigray Communication Affairs Bureau, TPLF, called for dismantlement of Amhara fighters in Humera Volkaya Sag, saying that Pretoria deal is being violated. Amhara forces are being trained and recruited. Not a word about the activity of Eritrean military on Tigray border. Has Tigray, has TPLF accepted the status quo in terms of border demarcation, in terms of the deployment of forces on the border? Eritrea says that it is not in occupation of even an inch of any country's territory. Its forces are deployed in accordance with Ethiopia-Eritrea Boundary Commission verdict. Tigray has been rejecting this Eritrean government's position. Ethiopian federal government has also been questioning this position taken by Eritrean side. But now things have changed. Tigray government, Tigray military, TPLF, all have sealed their lips about Eritrea. By the way, it's not that I'm against peace. It's not that I want the two parties to fight. But you never know about their alliances, about the animosities. Yesterday, they were saying that Eritrean military is in occupation of Tigray territories. Today, they are silent. Tomorrow, they might start saying the same thing, that Eritrea in occupation of Tigray territories. That is, I'm saying that if they're in contact, at least they should hold talks and they should formally reach some agreements or understandings should be made public about the status of the border. This issue should be solved once and for all. Eritrea says no need of any dialogue. Why should it talk? It is not occupying any territory of Tigray. Tigray is silent today, but tomorrow, if its relations with Eritrea deteriorate, it will raise the issue again. Secondly, was Ammanuel Assefa, TPLF's deputy chairman, who is Tigray's deputy president, who has published a message in response to some reports by Ethiopian news outlets. Ethiopian news outlets, including the Habisha, reported that Ammanuel Assefa, in an interview with Zara Media, said that if TPLF status is not restored by Nebbe, TPLF will reinstate Tigray government. It will restore Tigray government. The Tigray government, which was formed after controversial 2020 election, regional election in Tigray, which was rejected by the parliament, by the federal government. In Pretoria, TPLF agreed to the dismantlement of government formed as a result of that election. Did Ammanuel Assefa say all that? He's denying. Emmanuel Assefa says he never said that if TPLF status is not restored, it will restore the government formed after election in Tigray in 2020. Either Zihabisha made a mistake, or maybe it's a case of lost in translation, though it shouldn't be a problem for Zihabisha to get translation from Tigrinya into Amharic. I face this problem. I am a foreigner. It's difficult for me to get translation in all the languages, Afan, Oromo, Somali, Tigrinya, Amharic. I need to have credible translators. There are a few people with me from all sides who I blindly trust, because these people really want to see the truth. And they always say, Sajid, you can cross-check our translation. I do cross-check their translations, but sometimes I have to find new translators too. And this is where things go wrong and I get wrong translations. Intentionally, unintentionally, I get wrong translation. I don't think Zihabisha got the wrong translation. Maybe someone, Zihabisha report did not share a correct report, or deliberately a campaign has been launched against TPLF, because TPLF is putting pressure upon the federal government about the issue of Volkite. Varade has given a deadline that by the start of October, the issue of Mera Volkite Saga they be solved. Otherwise, second round of DDR won't start. So a lot will happen, I think, now in coming days. The Habisha should clarify. While Ammanuel Assefa has denied all these reports of Zihabisha about restoration of the government formed after 2020 election, now Zihabisha should clarify. Secondly, if TPLF restores the government formed after 2020 election, that will be a violation of Pretoria, because it's clearly mentioned in Pretoria, I think. Pretoria agreement stipulates that the government formed after 2020 election in Tigray is null and void. I think it's mentioned in that agreement. So I don't think TPLF will violate Pretoria in this open manner. It's already in control of government. Where is TPLF's man now? Why should it call for restoration of that government? If election, I think TPLF might call for restoration of that government if its status is not restored, and if election is held and Prosperity Party tries to hold an election without TPLF's participation, then TPLF might resort to that tactic. Otherwise, so far, this option is not being considered reportedly. Thanks for watching.